I'm originally from Des Moines, Iowa. I did my freshman year of college at Northwest Missouri State in Missouri, and then I had found out about the San Marcos River. When I moved to San Marcos, there was, like I mentioned, there were a couple other studios, and I think I went to my first yoga class ever at like Sewell Park, and then decided I wanted to start going to a real studio. And I had just never tried anything like it. Coming from the Midwest, like there wasn't a lot of opportunity to go practice, but then moving here, it really opened my eyes to focusing on like mental health, focusing on physical health, and it was like hooked right from the start.
I discovered Wild Rice Studio because I was moving to San Marcos and I knew I wanted to find a yoga studio, so I was set to try a few, and Wild Rice was actually the first one I tried, and I loved it on my first class, so I never left. I think there's such a good yoga community here. They're so helpful. They'll get you your blocks. They'll tell you tips on some poses. Yeah, I think that's what separates it from other studios I've been to.
You know, born and raised here. The San Marcos River people have been inhabiting this place for at least 15,000 years, continuously inhabiting the San Marcos area because of the river. So I'm very kind of protective of the river. I actually found yoga while I was incarcerated in prison in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Found yoga or started practicing yoga in a book that I found in the library. I learned a very rudimentary practice in prison, and it was kind of my way of escaping the walls. I found liberation while incarcerated. It's a practice of turning inwards and stilling the mind. There has been studios come and go here in San Marcos. I find that the difference now for me is the community at Wild Rice Studio. We have a very kind of tight-knit community. So whatever fluctuations of the mind I may have going into a yoga class at Wild Rice, you know, I usually come out with a little more sense of groundedness and peace of mind, because that's the very definition of yoga, is a stilling of the mind and the fluctuations of the mind.
Growing up, I always had like a desire to be active. I remember at a young age when I was like 13 and like smoked a lot of weed, I would literally be like, you know what, working out could be my anti-drug. But it always, it took a while. I don't know, let me see how to phrase this. 2 years ago, July 1st of 2022, I checked myself into rehab where I spent 91 days, and they had a yoga instructor that came in 2 days a week. And I think that was when I really was able to associate yoga not with can I hit that move? Like, is my body malleable enough? It was more of nervous system regulation. So what really drew me to yoga was once I got out of treatment. So I didn't know that Kylie owned the studio. I thought she was just one of the teachers. And I remember I had a really heavy calling on my spirit to want to pursue yoga and want to get my yoga teacher training certification. So there was a day where I went up to Kylie after I checked in. I opened the door and was like, hey, can we get coffee one time soon? I want to pick your brain. And then once we grabbed a coffee and hung out, and I was able to sort of tell her my story and what drew me to Wild Rice. So being able to step into there and have a place that feels like home and a place that feels supportive has been like one of the most beautiful aspects of the new life that I've created out here. I don't even want to leave San Marcos because I want to be close to Wild Rice. There's just not another place like it. There really isn't. What has kept me coming back to my yoga practice has been really at the base of it all is nervous system regulation. I have to take into consideration that I'm 31 years old now, but I spent probably about 18 years running away from myself. My addiction, it was like a fear of time. I was never in the present moment because I was either in the past with shame, guilt, and regret, or I was future tripping. That my inability to be present, and was also like a fear of time. Like I was so afraid of my true potential and of really embracing what that was and like sort of meeting myself face to face, that I think the last 2 years of like getting to know myself and really reconnecting to like my childlike self in a way that would like make her proud